Welcome back to another episode of Screen Chats. On this episode, I will be talking about Maid, starring Margaret Qualley, which is on Netflix, and it came out a few years ago, but I finally got around to watching it. Here are my thoughts. Let's get started. So it's been, I would say, a month or more since I finished the show. I did record a previous review on it, which I watched it back. I felt like there was just something missing and I wasn't quite grasping the story as much as I would have liked. So I took some time, I sat with the story, and now I feel like I understand it a little better and I'm able to talk about it more. The show is set in Washington State, which is pretty cool. It is based on a book, which is someone's actual biography of what she went through an abusive relationship and raising a child single and being in the welfare system, being poor, trying to work a job, and going through all of these motions of trying to get back onto her feet, ending up back with her abuser, but then finally releasing herself at the end. So that is pretty much the gist of the show. I just want to say, for anybody who has dealt with any of these things on the show, if you are triggered by it, then I would recommend not watching it. But if you're not, then obviously, do. It is a good show. This is a good show for anybody. So the character of Alex, she leaves her abuser, which is Sean, and ends up at a shelter with her daughter. And she meets Danielle, who is very feisty and very strong, who is also a survivor of domestic abuse. And Danielle helps Alex become stronger. And, one example is that Alex, works as a maid. One of her clients didn't pay. So Danielle comes up with this plan to kidnap the client's dog and, to teach the client a lesson so she would pay Alex. I love this little friendship. It was great. And Alex really needed somebody who is strong and feisty to really help her get up on her feet. And the thing that happens later on is that Danielle ends up going back to her abuser, which is a really great foreshadow, which I was not expecting. Because when Alex talks to the lady who runs the shelter, she said that victims of abusers end up going back to their abusers more than once before they finally realize that they need to completely and truly break free, and it takes a while. So I didn't know that, and I'm sure a lot of people also didn't know that. As the show goes on, Alex is going through many ups and downs, and there are some frustrating parts where she keeps inviting Sean back into her life, and I get it, he's the father of her kid, but, from the outside point of view, it's just, when you're watching the show, it's just very frustrating that she just keeps allowing him back and allowing all the toxicity that comes along with him back into her life, which ends with her losing a job, losing a house, losing a potentially something with actually a nice guy. Then slowly but surely, she ends up back with Sean. This time when she's back with Sean, this was a really interesting visual that they showed in the series, was that her mind is inside of a deep well. And I'm assuming that means depression, because she was just not feeling anything. She had no emotion. She was lacking any motivation. She wasn't getting up. She was just eating. She was just sleeping and feeding her daughter. And she really it felt like she just gave up on life. And then there was a moment that really clicked for her, which happens earlier in the show, is when Sean throws a plate or something right past her head. He does it again, and then that becomes a start of a wake-up call. When he leaves, she's looking for her daughter, and her daughter is hiding inside of a little cupboard. And if you've seen the show, or if you haven't, I'm sorry, I'm saying spoilers right now, but throughout the show, she realized that when Alex was a kid, her mom was actually a victim of domestic abuse by her father, and she was a kid who hid behind a cupboard when something really terrible was happening, and now her daughter was in the same situation. That became a huge wake-up call for her, and that's the moment where she truly and completely felt the strength and the courage to leave and not look back. And that's when she really started taking charge of her own life and her own self, demanding divorce. The client that was refusing to pay her ended up becoming one of her biggest helpers because she's a lawyer and she knows someone who's a divorce lawyer, and that divorce lawyer helped Alex in her case to get a divorce, to get full custody of her daughter, and move to a different state to study writing. The series does have a really nice ending, but there are a lot of ups and downs that go on throughout the show. Some things will be a little frustrating to watch, but keep in mind that this does actually happen with people in real life, and a lot of times people don't really know the kind of situation that they're in until someone points it out to them, or until they have their own wake-up call. And at that point, time passes by. 6 months could go by, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years could go by before that person actually realizes. I feel like this show did a good job in helping people who haven't been through this kind of situation, and I really hope no one does. It really helps people see from the victim's point of view, and also dealing with the welfare system in this country. I realized from the show how ridiculous and horrible and terrible it is, and it's not helpful at all to anybody, and I found that out through the show. So that was another eye-opener, and anybody who is dealing with this, I really do hope that you are getting the help that you need, and if not yet, you will get the help that you need. And I really hope that you have people in your life that you can trust and that you can talk to. I know that there are hotlines and shelters and areas and places that you could call up or see or visit to really help you through this. So anybody who is dealing with this, please do call up one of these hotlines and know that there are people out there that do care about you and that do want to help you. And for everyone else, please do watch this show, because it is certainly an eye-opener, and I hope you enjoy it. Be sure to like this video and subscribe so you can be notified of new videos every week, and be sure to comment below on whether or not you watched the show and what you learned from it, what you got out of it, any points that I made within my review that you agree with or maybe you don't agree with. Please do be kind in the comments, and we will see you next time. Bye.